Dave, 1-1 draw at the Vic, another point on the board. Give us your overall assessment of this afternoon.
I'll be the first to be disappointed when we've not won games of football, but I think it's a good point against a good team, and if we can finish in and around where they finish, then I think we'll have had a good season. And like I say, a good side, especially the front three are a real threat, and we huffed and puffed, we go in front, disappointed, obviously going to be disappointed with the goal we concede, and I thought it was a pretty even game. There are bits that I want us to do better, but I think in the grand scheme of things, when you look at the players that we have missing from the team, there are encouraging signs from our perspective to get a point against a team that, like I say, have been notoriously in and around the top 7 in the division for the past few years.
Was there a sense of disappointment at half time, or what was kind of the message? Because it seemed like that first half was one of our most positive displays in the last few weeks, really, and obviously it ended in them getting that goal. I
thought we showed real intent from the start. I was really happy with what we did, and then it just shows the ruthlessness of the division in terms of detail and what you give teams, or what you give players, the information we gave them. We were brave, and we scored a really good goal from being brave in the fact that we knew their centre backs would step in as a 3, and we left 2v2 at the top end of the pitch and backed ourselves to defend 8v8 and try and make it, I suppose, 8v7, 8v6 by pushing across and leaving the far side free. At times we got picked off, but it culminated in us getting our goal. We picked up a second ball, spacing behind, Feds plays a great ball down the side, Moles is 1v1 and scores a really, really good goal from our perspective. Teams are always going to have a spell. I was disappointed with. They had an opportunity prior to that where I think it's the 10 in the end blazes over. Again, through our doing, and the fact we looked and studied and did work on what their throw-ins are, and they worked them really well. But you've got to deal with the throw, and if you deal with the throw, then the people over the other side of the pitch aren't effective and won't have an impact. We didn't do that and got lucky. And then the goal again comes from moments. I'll be critical. Dales isn't going to be the most physical player, but there's a header to be won in the middle of the pitch against Matt Jay, and Matt Jay's only 5'6", 5'7" himself. So we have to win that header. We don't win that header, and then from that point on, I'm saying on the bench, and I do shout things at times. 10's free, Zane's not marking, balls in our net. And we'd spoken yesterday and Thursday that if we were going to defend 8v8, then everybody needed to be marking, and everybody needs to have a man. If you didn't have a man, then alarm bells should have been ringing. No problem if the 2 spare men are on the opposite side of the pitch, but too often in that last sort of 10 minutes of the first half, the spare men were in the middle of the pitch and were in and around our goal, and we paid the ultimate price in the fact we conceded. So I suppose a little bit of disappointment, not massive. I still thought the game was there for us to go and get something from. Just setting off, like I say, I think we not lost our way, but as you would expect with changes, I think we became a bit safe in terms of what we want to do with the ball and adapting to how they defended against us. And we'll go through that and we'll learn from that in terms of the players we had in certain positions, and make sure we're better for it next time we play.
You spoke about Luke Molyneux's goal last week when we spoke, or it might have been the week before. You said, Luke Molyneux needs to find a way into this team and find a way to create chances. He's gone straight up front today with Mike, and it's bread and butter Luke Molyneux, isn't it, under that left foot into the bottom corner. And you must have been pleased with especially the first half of his performance.
It should be bread and butter Luke Molyneux, but again, Mole's great in terms of that goal. He needs to do that every week. We'll look at players within the league, within the level that we're at, and we'll show stuff of what they do. We should be showing that on repeat from different games of Luke Molyneux, and again, with his ability, I'd challenge that he should do that 10 and 15 times a season, not 10 and 15 times in his career here, if you like, in terms of them goals you see. He has the ability to be able to do that, especially when the game's open and the game's stretched, but hopefully, and listen, he can go either way. He's not certainly not going to be always coming onto his left side, but it's, like I say, it's a great area to get him in. It's 1v1. I'm looking at that and going, if Luke Molyneux, with the ability he's got, doesn't score, then the goalkeeper should be making a terrific save. Thankfully, it was the former. The ball goes in. It's a great finish and gives us a platform to build from.
Just looking at the starting 11, you obviously had your injury problems. Luke Hendry and Eddie Jones came in. How did you assess their afternoons?
I think they can be really pleased with afternoons. They've come in against a really tough side and fitted in really, really well. Like I say, lots of positives, loads of positives in the first half. The only disappointment was the fact we conceded a goal when I suppose they were having their spell a little bit. But loads of positives from the game. Like I say, to have to make the changes we've made and to lose the personnel that we've lost is always going to weaken our team. So to get a point on the board and have a performance like we've had will do all of them the world of good. And they've got to make sure, like I say, they repeat that. The challenge for them before the game, and the challenge for everyone really, was that the experienced ones that were in there had to step up. In adversity, when players are missing, you can sit and feel sorry for yourself and almost accept that it's going to be a tough day against a good side and we've got players missing, or you can roll your sleeves up, take a little bit more responsibility and work and do as much as you can for the lads who are in making their first starts, if you like, that ultimately want to put themselves in a position where, when certain players are back fit and available, that they don't walk straight back in the team. And I think they did more than enough to go away and be pleased with what the performances were.
I just wanted to ask about, towards the end, it looked like Mark Cullen and Will Goodwin were ready to come on and sat there for a while. Obviously didn't end up coming on. Regan didn't say. But what was the thinking behind obviously them getting changed?
Yeah, we were going to make a change. We were going to make two changes, and I suppose try and be positive. We're going to take a midfielder off, and ultimately more or less play with a front four and allow two attacking midfield players and two centre forwards to go and play. They made a change in terms of what they did and changed the shape, which made the game, or potentially made the game, a little bit more open than where we'd have wanted it to be. We still wanted to try and win the game, but they went to a back four and went 4-3-3. We'd have ended up 3v3, 4v4 up at the top end of the pitch, and if we'd have probably not counteracted that in terms of personnel, then I'd have been kicking myself, because let's have it right. A point's massively important to us, and a point is far better than no points. And when you get to the latter stages, into the 85th minute, what you don't want to do is leave yourself open and lose the game as much as you want to try and go and win it. So we made a decision. Would love to have made the change we made, but we changed our shape and went 4-3-3, and I suppose tried to potentially get Moles isolated in a wider area and Regan in a wider area. It didn't really pan out in that way, but what it did do is we got up the pitch. We stayed up the pitch, if you like. We got some set pieces from it, and on another day you might get a goal from them set pieces. That's an area where I think, with the amount of corners and things that we had today, we've got to do better with, and we need to definitely be more effective and more efficient in that part of the game.
Just finally, a point at the Vic this weekend. Obviously, it was a very special weekend for yourself, signing your new contract, and obviously when you came out with the tunnel and "Long Live the King" with the banner held high. Do you get like goosebumps at them type of moments? I get goosebumps all the time. It's been like I said before, nothing surprises you in terms of what the supporters do and what they add. They've been great. I'm repeating what I've said. It's been certainly a weekend I'll remember for a long time. Not only because of the signing of the contract, the game here, the atmosphere within the ground, dropping my son off at university and him disappearing for a time. Again, it's all part of something that I suppose makes it very, very special. And we're disappointed we couldn't win this afternoon, but
I'm more than happy with a point and continuing the record here in terms of being unbeaten, if you like, or having lost one game in the amount of games that we have, which is something we want to try and carry on for as long as possible.
Dave, thanks very much.
Cheers, thank you.